Hello, welcome. God bless you. Many blessings. Peace and joy and healing to you. All goodness, all kindness, all love to you. I pray that you're having a really good day today, and if you're not, this too shall pass. On the last episode, we spoke a little bit about this website, who I am, what I want to offer, which is basically music and meditation. And I offer both of those for the service and welfare of all sentient beings, so that we all may wake up and realize our true nature as Satchitananda, being, awareness, and love, bliss. I think it's bliss to know that we are awareness and being. Really knowing that. And really you can't know it, you can only be it, because knowing implies knowledge, which is a mind thing, and it's not about the mind, it's about going beyond the mind, beyond consciousness. And yet, even saying going beyond sounds like there's a distance to be traveled, and there's not, because who you are is who you are, here and now, and always. It's who you've always been, and who you always will be. Always. It doesn't matter what your emotional reaction to hearing that is. For any of us. It's a good thing, though. The ego might not like to hear it. But that which is the truth inside of you is waking up to itself and going, oh, I knew I was something more than the fleeting ego. And I hear a siren going by right now. So, emergency, emergency, it turns out we're not the body. Turns out we're not the body after all. The ego definitely will be threatened by this, because when you wake up, you realize that, well, the ego is not who you are. The ego, I'm trying to be compassionate to the ego here, but the ego just disappears. It doesn't really exist anyways. It's not an entity. It's a misperception. That is what the ego is. It's a misperception. It's a misperceiving, or it's a filter of perceiving. It's perceiving through what seems to be an individual consciousness, locked in space and time. But who you really are is beyond space and time, because again, space and time exist only within the mind, within consciousness. So I wanted to read a quote, another quote from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, from the book I Am That. And here it is. The gospel of self-realization, the good news about self-realization, once heard, will never be forgotten. Like a seed left in the ground, it will wait for the right season and sprout and grow into a mighty tree. Now, Jesus actually speaks about this too. When you hear the truth, I do believe the quality of hearing, the quality of receiving this information will determine sort of how deeply it goes. If you just kind of hear about it on the shallow surface, I don't know what will happen. But if you really hear it, if you really contemplate it, and Nisargadatta says contemplate it all the time. This is a spiritual practice, a sadhana, is to really think about self-realization. Not that it has to do with thinking per se, but you're cleaning out your consciousness. You're refiguring everything. Your perception of what you believe reality is. You're opening up your mind. You're reconditioning the conditioning. You're re-educating yourself about who it is you really are. You're letting go of old concepts of what you've been told. I'm this or I'm that. And you're opening up literally to a different way of seeing. So once again, the gospel of self-realization, once heard, will never be forgotten. Like a seed left in the ground, it will wait for the right season and then sprout and grow into a mighty tree, powerful and beautiful. And just hearing that alleviates anxiety within me. I've been reading about self-realization and God and enlightenment for 19 years now, I think. I've heard this gospel of self-realization many times, and it has had its way with me in many different ways, and yet I see my ego continue to struggle to stay alive. But it has affected my life, right? So I'm not 100% awake or 100% enlightened, but the gospel of self-realization has affected my life positively. Positively. It has opened me up to so many more possibilities than I ever knew were even possible. So it's a beautiful thing, and so I share that with you, whoever you are, and maybe you too have heard it many times, but we can't hear it enough. Because the more we hear it, the more our mind, right now the mind is sort of turned in, but when we hear these concepts, hear about them enough, soon the mind opens up, sort of turns inside out. So, we don't want to become obsessive about it or anything like that, but to really ponder, to contemplate, to think about self-realization, enlightenment, waking up, the fact that we are awareness and consciousness. God, spirit, love, truth, peace, infinite intelligence, inexhaustible creativity, to think about these things and to let them change our life. Let them change our lives. Allow this new information to come in and allow it to change your life. Allow it to change your perceptions about yourself, about others, about God, about reality. Birth, life, and death are one. No need to resist. All resistance ends in suffering. What you resist persists and intensifies. So don't resist anything. It doesn't mean you can't protect yourself. If a car is coming, you can get out of the way. But in terms of self-realization is what I'm talking about right now. In terms of this awakening, allow the awakening is what I'm trying to say. Allow the awakening to happen. Allow self-realization to happen right now, here and now. This is the only moment we have, is the now. And of course, yes, the now, in a sense, keeps, the content of the now keeps changing, but we only have now. The space and the time change within the now, but we only have the now, the present. So allow yourself to be liberated. Allow yourself to be healed. Allow yourself to be cured. Allow yourself to be liberated and saved and blessed and changed. And allow yourself to let go of everything. Everything. You don't have to hold on to anything. This is not a belief system or a philosophy. So you don't have to hold on to any concept. If you want to hold on to anything, for now, you can hold on to I am. I am is the only true statement you can ever make. Even I am awareness. In a sense, it's very close. I am awareness, I am consciousness. These are very good statements. But still, these are just concepts right now. Until they are realized, they are concepts. You are awareness. You are consciousness. But do you realize that you're awareness? Do you realize your consciousness? Maybe you do right now, or maybe you don't. If you do, you're probably not watching this anymore. So again, concepts. You are nothing perceivable or conceivable in the mind.